こんばんは。フォーレックス TV ニューヨークのレミです。2月29日金曜日の為替レポートニューヨークレビューをお伝えします。29日のアメリカ株式相場は大幅続落しました。ダウ工業株30週平均は前日比315ドル79セント安の 12,266 ドル39セントで終えた。ナスダック総合株価指数は 60.09 ポイント安の 2271.48 で終えた。アメリカ景気の悪化やインフレ圧力の強まり、また原油先物相場の急上昇が悪化され、売りが優勢となりました。またアメリカインターナショナルグループ AIG の決算が発表され、巨額損失計上で大幅な赤字となったことで金融株に売りが進みました。ニューヨーク外国為替市場で円相場は大幅に続伸しました。アメリカ株式相場が大幅安になったことや経済指標の悪化を受け、円買いドル売りが優勢となりました。ドル円は一時103円70銭まで上昇しました。ドル円は前日比1円65銭円高ドル安の103円65銭から75銭で取引を終えた。また円は対ユーロで大幅続伸しました。ユーロ円は前日比2円55銭円高ユーロ安の157円40銭から50銭で取引を終えた。一時157円46銭まで買われました。それではバンクオブニューヨークメロンのマイクル・ウルフォークさんとのインタビューをご覧ください。
Well, we're here at the end of a very volatile week in all the markets. We are ending Friday with the major indexes in U.S. equities down significantly on the day. We got a slew of U.S. data, which was weaker than expected for the most part. But most of all, the U.S. dollar has been falling to record lows in today's session and the previous session. But first and foremost, I'd like to start out with dollar yen. We saw the pair fall below 104 today. So in the near term, if you could give us your outlook for the pair.
Well, we have had some continued weakness in U.S. data today. I think what largely prompted the move below 104 in dollar yen had less to do with U.S. data and more to do with risk aversion and prompting international investors to cut back some of their yen carry trades. And to that, we really turned to the large fall that we saw in the Nikkei overnight and the carry-through declines in international bourses we saw in Europe as well as in the States here. The Dow Jones down 200 plus points, the NASDAQ down 2%. This has prompted increased risk aversion, particularly given the fact we've had some negative financial news. So I mean, that's really coupled with an already weak U.S. dollar position from earlier in the week, I think, is what has caused people to kind of square up positions going into the weekend.
Well, Michael, as you mentioned, the U.S. dollar has been hitting lows against the majors, against record lows against the euro, Swissy, and breaking key resistance levels against the other currencies. And as we look at the end of Q1, this quarter does not look rosy. So looking at euro dollar and what we can expect from the central banks in March, if you could give us both your near-term and long-term forecast for euro dollar.
Yeah, well, with respect to the euro dollar in the coming week, we think that we see maybe a range of 150 to 153. We do think that there is some downside potential for the euro dollar over the course of the next week, given the extent to which the U.S. dollar is oversold at this point. We think that those holding short dollar positions going into the weekend will likely be taking profit sometime next week, and likely it's going to be on some of the U.S. data on employment that is likely to show that things aren't quite as dreary as we'd earlier thought. I mean, we have ISM manufacturing, non-manufacturing, ADP, and then, of course, the most important release for next week out of the U.S. market, at least, which is non-farm payrolls on Friday. We think that one, if not more, of those reports will have something positive to say about the state of the labor market. We are still creating jobs in the economy, clearly not at the pace that we've been used to over the last several years, but I think that the previous month's non-farm payrolls doesn't truly reflect the current conditions. So expect maybe 150 on the downside for the euro dollar.
以上、バンクオブニューヨークメロンのマイクル・ウルフォークさんとのインタビューでした。ForexTV ニューヨークの由美がお伝えしました。最新の為替情報については ForexTV ジャパンをご覧ください。